Once again, it's worth noting that the language before us today addresses the thing we commonly refer to as the penny, the 1 cent piece, which now costs 4 cents to produce. And last year, the mint lost $85 million from 1 cent production. This is the 19th consecutive year the United States government has lost money keeping the 1 cent piece in circulation. The first U.S. 1 cent piece was minted in 1793 and had the equivalent buying power of 29 cents. Now remember the monetary system that was set up by the Mint Act of 1792. Every coin had to contain the metal of its issue value in it. A 1 cent piece had 1 cent worth of copper in it. A half cent had a half cent worth of copper. A silver dollar had $1 worth of silver. A $10 gold piece had $10 worth of gold. But that's not the system we work under anymore. Our economic targets, the things we tell the Fed to do, calls for 2% inflation every year. That's a 2% reduction in buying power. So over time, the value of our currency, paper and coin, continues to drop. And we have to reflect that. We have to make changes that address that. And it's not just the 1 cent piece. And by the way, the Mint says there's nothing they can use that will cost less than a cent to produce. During the Second World War, they discussed plastic 1 cent pieces. We did iron 1 cent pieces for a time. The 1 cent piece, which you see in the parking lots at Quick Stops scattered across the ground, has run its course. That original 1792 Mint Act called for half cents. They dropped those in 1857 because they weren't practical anymore, even though the buying power was dramatically greater, and it didn't wreck the economy. The 5 cent piece, as the ranking member of the full committee alluded to, now costs almost 14 cents to produce. We address that in this bill too. And you talk about recycling and saving. Think about all the billions and billions of 1 cent pieces out there. When we go from a nickel, which by the way didn't exist until 1866 because we had something called a silver half dime before that, it was a monetary saving issue at the time. We'll go to a zinc-coated planchet. And by the way, your coin collector friends don't refer to them as blanks. They're planchets. And that will make it affordable to issue those again. We'll recycle, I predict, all of these 1 cent pieces, these billions out there, to make the nickels. This is just something we have to do. And we brought ourselves to the point where when it costs dramatically more to produce a penny, a 1 cent piece, or a nickel than it's worth, this will expand across the board. Bottom line is, this bill doesn't order the Mint to do anything, but it gives it the flexibility to do what they have told us has to be done. And I'm certainly willing to discuss with the ranking member of the full committee her questions about rounding before we get to the final product. And my colleague, Congresswoman McLean, is very focused on doing the right thing. But the world has changed, and we've created a situation that's made this necessary. Let's just be practical and move forward, Mr. Chairman. And with that, there's 100 billion of them out there. You'll have plenty for nostalgia. Long after everything we know doesn't exist anymore, there'll still be 1 cent pieces floating around, just as there are Roman and Greek coins from 2,000 years still in existence. It's our mark on history. And by the way, I've always been an advocate of a higher and a focused degree on artistry in our coinage because of the legacy it leaves. After that sermonette, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.